Buggy Festival promotes our culture. As I said, buggies were the main means of transportation of our ancestors. French-speaking language is very heavy in Church Point still. You don't have to go to any other town in the state of Louisiana to speak French. And wherever we go, I mean, they can say, "You from Church Point," you know, not by looking at you, but by our accent, you know. And of course, here we have lots of Cajun music, mostly Cajun music, because that is our heritage. And we have had so many musicians in this area, within a 16-mile radius now. We had more professional musicians than anywhere else in the state of Louisiana. So that gave us a title of musician capital of the world. If you want the best music, we have one of the only in the state of Louisiana, a spectacular event called the Accordion extravaganza. It's the backup of a band, but 10 professional musicians playing one type of instrument, the accordion. And they play it together. If you know anything about music and your ears can know the difference in the notes, you will not hear a note that will be off. And all of these musicians are part of the capital musicians of Church Point.
Oh my goodness, I started playing this accordion when I was about 10 years old, and I'm 53 right now, so it's been a long journey.
To be an ambassador for my favorite hometown festival means the world to me, because this is what keeps our hospital running. It helps with the athletic department at Church Point High, and considering that I've been through this festival for almost 22 years now, it really has a big piece of my heart.
Tell me a little bit about the Buggy Festival. What can people expect to see?
People can expect to see great family fun. The accordion extravaganza is a really big part in this town. We also have a youth accordion extravaganza this year. We're bringing that back. That's always been a good source of people coming. We have really great bands lined up, food, rides, anything you can think of we have, and it's just great.
I had an uncle that was invited over to the house maybe once a month, and he'd play for my mother and my father and for a couple of my older brothers. And I was fascinated on how much my parents and my older brothers were enjoying what he was doing. He was an unknown sit down in a corner somewhere and just play the accordion for 2 or 3 hours. And I was just amazed at how much mom and dad, liked it. And being a kid of 7, 8 years old, watching it all happen, it seemed like as if it was the thing to do. And a little bit later on, I had one of the older brothers that went in for basic training at the Great Lakes area, and he had an accordion. And one of the last things he had said before he left to go to basic training was, "Don't touch my accordion, because I just know you're going to break it." And he wasn't out the door but a few days, and I snuck into the room and got the accordion, and I just started playing some little bitty Mickey Mouse pieces of tunes, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And mom and dad heard what I was doing, and they did what any mother or father would do. They said, "Oh, baby, you sound so good. Keep on playing." And that's all the encouragement that I needed. And from that day forward, I started picking up little Cajun tunes, and here I am today. I'm a self-taught accordion player, and it's been good to me. The music has been good to me. It's always been part-time, but I've had a lot of fun with it. Met a lot of interesting people along the way.
Why do you think it's important to continue playing and preserve the music?
Well, I've been one of the lucky ones from Southwest Louisiana that have been out, and went to Denmark, went to China, and I've played several times up and down the east and the west coast. and it's always fascinating to watch how the non-Cajuns fall in love with the music. So it makes me realize how special this music is, and it's so particular to this little area of Southwest Louisiana. And it's given me a whole new appreciation and a love for the music to see how special it is in accordance with how other people look at it. So it needs to be played.
The buggies are important at Church Point because Church Point did not have paved roads until about the 1950s, so buggies were a big tradition here. They still used buggies when other people were using cars, so it's really part of our culture here.
Well, they'll see all kind of buggies, and it's a good family outgoing deal, so they should come out and check it out. And French music, which is a big thing for us around here. Well, most of those, some of them I picked up parts here and there and put together, except this one here. That's the Amish people in Seymour, Missouri that built that one for me. And I ordered it pretty much like the way I wanted.
Why is it important to showcase these buggies for Church Point?
Well, I really enjoyed it, just a hobby that I got into. And the people that with the Buggy Festival, they went all the way out. But when I was growing up, that was the only means of transportation we had. And we was 5 kids, and Mom and Dad, and we'd all ride in a buggy. The 2 smallest one was twins, and one of them would stand in between Dad and Mama on the seat, and Mama would hold one, the baby. And the 2 boys would sit and let our feet hang on each side, back to back, and then one of them would sit in the back box, and that's how we traveled. So most of the time would travel, like our church. We had pictures of our church with buggies all around, and that's how people would go to church. It was in the buggies, because that was the main on the main of transportation at the time. This one here I use for the Christmas parade, like to bring Santa Claus. And with this one here, when I go riding by myself, this is the one I use. So we built that one there, me and the kids, to show them how to put up the wheels and stuff. So we made that, change the spokes and all that.
We have the buggies on display. We'll have the buggies in the parade, and a welcome, that open arm welcome when you walk into the gates.
My involvement is I just support the Medical Foundation because they do all the work. They've been doing all the work for years and years and years. They do a beautiful job raising funds for a tremendous cause, which is to assist financially their local hospital that serves Church Point and the surrounding areas.
1983, our hospital was doing well, but not that well, where we thought that we may lose it. We had lots of information that was coming from the government saying that Medicare, Medicaid was not paying. We had board members who had to fly to Washington, D.C. to get some of the money. And so it was hectic, hectic for the board, hectic for the employees. Some of the employees got laid off, some, got let go. So it was bad for the community overall. Well, being a community of a small, we all very closely related and closely knit families that help each other. When the word got out that we were on the verge of losing the hospital, we knew we had to do something. Well, a community meeting was called. Church Point has always done something good for anything that that they wanted to preserve. We had just recently preserved an old building that belonged to the church. It was 106 years old. We were losing it. The Catholic Church could not keep it up because of the cost of keeping it up, paying insurance on it. So they chose to offer it to the community, and we had to raise money to save it. At the same time we were doing that, well, the hospital came up, so we had something else that we had to work for, as important as a historical building. So we decided to form a nonprofit organization, and so it was called the Cajun St. Landry Medical Foundation. a support, moral and financial support for the hospital. And of course, the logo for Church Point was buggies. I mean, we had doctors who traveled in buggies, taking care of the people, in the countryside. We didn't have ways to get to we had a local hospital, but it was very small. And so the buggy was the main means of transportation of our ancestors. It was for my parents, it was for me. And unlucky for my children, they had cars. But it was a wonderful ways to travel. You went where you wanted. There was no gas cost, a little feed for the horse and that was it. But in forming the organization, we had to find a title of the event that we would have to continue to support the hospital financially and morally. And so sitting in the administrator's boardroom, there was a picture of a doctor standing by a horse and buggy. So the administrator said, we all jotted names down, but we didn't know what we was going to use. And he turned around and he said, what about a buggy festival? Well, that clicked. We all were in love with the buggies already, and we knew there were a lot of people who owned buggies. So it became the Church Point Buggy Festival. And this year is a 29th annual. We have been very successful in the past years of doing a lot. Right now we're providing money for renovations of the hospital, which as nice as it looks, you have to do some renovations. And so we had to do what we had to do, and we went on and got new doctors in after this administrator came in. And he has done a wonderful job. His father owned a hospital in a town about 40 miles from here. So he was born and raised in the hospital. So he was just natural. He came in, and we knew that he would be perfect for the job.
And it's been established for many years to financially support this hospital, which several years ago was in very bad financial condition. Today it's financially stable and doing well. And secondly, as I mentioned a while ago, it brings the community together for a real good purpose.
At the same time that we got involved in the Medical Foundation, we were able to apply for critical access for the hospital because we needed this hospital. We didn't want to lose it. And our 4 hospitals within a 40-mile radius, Churchport Hospital is the only one that survived. And it's because the community, the people here, had their love and heart in having this, not losing it. They built it, now they wanted to save it.
I would just like to thank the Medical Foundation, their board members, especially Ms. T.C. Carey, who's been leading this group for many, many years, for the continued hard work they do to support the hospital and the community.
We're now in 2011, so 9 years has gone by, and we see what Church Point Buggy Festival has done, what the Acadian St. Landry Hospital has done. Together, we save something very, very valuable to our community.
Come and enjoy the festivities. Come for the food, come for the music, come for the hospitality. It's a very unique little festival. It's been going on for years. Nice, clean, family fun. If you love to dance, got a great dance floor, as you can see right here. And if you're not a dancer, if you just love to listen to the music, come on, come to Church Point. I mean, what better place to come? And we have something that's being featured that's no other place in the world. We have what's called an Accordion extravaganza, and we're going to get up on the stage. That's right in the back of me, and I may have as many as 5 accordions to my players to the left and 5 accordion players to the right side of me, and I'll kick a tune off. And I'll play one small segment of the tune, and I'll pass it to the #1 accordion player on the end. And each accordion player gets to play his little piece of the tune. And at the end, by the time the 8th or 9th or the 10th or the 12th accordion player has played, we're all going to band together and play that same tune. And it is an extravaganza. That it is. It's very unique, only in Church Point.
The biggest part of our festival. It's the part that has the most history, and it's just really fun to watch.
And tell me a little bit about what's your favorite part about the Buggy Festival.
My favorite part would also have to be the accordion extravaganza. It's just a great way to show people our traditional music.
I enjoy the camaraderie, seeing the citizens come out to support the hospital, but to enjoy themselves. It gives them an opportunity to bring their families, their children to get together. It's just a real good community function.
Come to Church Point and enjoy the festivities, the hospitality, the food. It'll be a come and pass a good time, like they say.
The people here are so very welcoming, and it's just a great way to show them our traditions.
We'd like to invite anybody with buggies and stuff, or any carriage, to come over and bring them. We'd love to have them.
They come for the Cajun music. It's our big drawing card. It is the music and of the food. We have very good food. We have vendors that come out and cook Cajun food because we don't have nothing else but Cajun foods out on the grounds. And of course, we have events for the children, and we have two beautiful queens that represent this community. We're born and raised here, and they go out into the state and promote Church Point, Louisiana. Small community, about 4,600 people. But we're as big as the Crawfish Festival in our hearts.